I'm here in the Sumkunda Game Reserve with Andrew and Stu. Stu, it's lovely to see you again from back over in the African continent.
Yeah.
Thanks again for coming helping us out in New Zealand for the I Make a Difference launch. And I'd love to tell you to tell us about what Andrew and you are doing here with African Insight and the connection between you guys and Wildlands Conservation Trust and the Gumbi community. You guys explain that to me.
Thanks, Pete. Yeah, nice to have you out here, and I think it was special that you eventually got to see your, well, it hasn't got a name yet, but your bull that you've adopted. Found him this morning. Yeah, Andrew called me in to help out with establishing the tourism businesses that are being set up here to involve the Gumbi community on some kind of game reserve. I think Andrew could tell you a little bit more about African Insight's involvement in that.
Yeah, Peter, we were brought in by Wildlands Conservation Trust to help set up a number of business streams, income streams for the community using the tourism potential of the reserve. So the first project that we're busy with at the moment is refurbishing the existing lodge. So we're going to relaunch that again in a few months' time, and that will be a 12-bed lodge that will be able to accommodate international groups as well as local groups, and then based from that lodge we'll be doing excursions out into the reserve. Really, a lot of what we are doing is going to be focused on educational programs, even with the international guests that are coming here, kind of like a science on safari kind of theme, so that everybody that comes here gets to really become familiar with conservation issues, and particularly the rhino issue. And that is going to be obviously a main focus. The other business opportunities that we are developing are with regard to the youth program. We have already got an established business. We're dealing with universities and colleges and school groups, and we do academic programs for them, as well as youth development programs, which are developed in line with the International Youth Award. So we'll be setting up a base camp here on Sumkunda and delivering those programs. And then a third business unit will be actually a 4x4 mobile safari camp that can be based here on the reserve, as well as using other community reserves in the area, so people will be able to have a broader experience of this part of South Africa. Throughout everything, we are employing Gumbi people, and we're training Gumbi people so that they will eventually be running these businesses. And at some stage, we could step out, and hopefully the Gumbi people will be able to continue to run these businesses and obviously sustainably, and contribute to the continued survival of the reserve and obviously the rhinos.
Fantastic. You talked about the three different things. The first one was international guests joining us for an experience in the bush. Will they also be able to walk up to rhino like we did this morning? Was that part of that?
Absolutely, yeah. That's one of the core products that we're going to be offering is rhino tracking. But then Stu is also going to be developing another whole program around that as well.
Yeah, I think we went out with Mark last year when we came up here to photograph some of the rhinos, and went out on foot like you did yesterday and this morning. And we both felt that that's only when you get out on foot with white rhinos, viewing them quite close, you get to appreciate, like you said yesterday, the size of the animal and also their vulnerability. Yeah. And creating a program where people can come here and have a bit more of an educational experience around the rhino, obviously an attraction on the reserve, but getting people out here and taking them out with guys, the rhino monitors that are very familiar with the area. And yeah, we just feel that there's a big need for that at the moment, is getting the awareness out.
Yeah, it's very, very powerful. The other thing you talked about was the students, but what you didn't mention was that these students are international students, mainly coming from the UK.
At the moment, coming from the UK, mostly. That's where we do most of our marketing. But obviously we're looking at expanding that into other regions as well.
New Zealand?
New Zealand would be fantastic. No language barrier, I think, most,
Most of the time.
most of the time.
Except maybe there's a rugby barrier. But, since we've won the World Cup, I guess that's over now. Huh?
Yeah, no, we're all friends again.
They're still going on about that.
Well, it's 24 years till we win another, huh? But the community, the third one was taking people on into the different communities. Now you talked a little bit about, we talked about this at breakfast, and you mentioned about they going in and having to learn how to do a bathe the way the locals do, and can you tell me a little bit about that?
You're not going to ask for
A demonstration.
Yeah, but part of our youth development program is a cultural immersion where the groups go into the community and they live with the community for a minimum of 4 days, and generally they get involved with a program, a project in the community, and so we have two different setups. They can stay together in one homestead, or they can be billeted out, 2 students per homestead. Basically they live exactly as the community are. They have no running water, they have no electricity, so you've got to learn to do things the way the rural Zulu people in this area are doing it. And that involves learning how to have a bath from a basin without making a huge mess on the cow dung floor.
which Andrew's mastered, apparently.
Yeah, and I believe there's going to be a video regarding this bathing from a...
Watch this space.
I might miss that particular one. But you also talked about a very funny little anecdote about the interview with the people billeting the children out about the issues they have with the white kids.
At the end of the season, last season, I had a meeting with all the host families and asked them, were there any issues, things that we should work on ahead of the next season? And one of the things they asked me was that could we teach the white children to wash because they worry they're going to catch some disease from them.
Because they're too scared to use this basin in the dung floor.
They just find it too daunting, too foreign, so they just don't bath for 4 days.
Yeah. How do they get on with the food? Because I guess they're eating staples like mealie meal and sheba, is it?
Shebu, yeah.
Shebu.
Yeah, what we've developed is a standard kind of menu that all the host families give the same food, but it is a mixture of traditional vegetarian meals as well as normal Western meals. So we've got quite strict health and safety protocols in terms of they're not allowed to slaughter anything and feed our guests with slaughtered animals. That it does have to come from the supermarket. Milk and things like that, it needs to be from a supermarket. So, we have obviously had to take into consideration the health and safety and hygiene issues, but still they will get a lot of the traditional Zulu staples in this area are vegetable based. Meat is a real luxury, so they get to eat magwinyas and all sorts of things which are just vegetable based, but tasty. I mean, cabbage cooked the way the Zulus cook cabbage. It's completely different to the way we as Western people would eat cabbage.
Yeah,
And,
like on the braai last night.
Yeah.
No, and what sort of feedback do you get from the kids that have experienced this?
It's absolutely awesome. In many cases, they come out to South Africa for an academic geography program or something like that, and at the end of the day, their homestay becomes the highlight. Having that complete immersion in the culture for 4 days, they start off all very nervous and rigid and stiff, but at the end of it, most of them are in tears.
Made new friends.
Yeah, they made new friends, and they are in tears when they leave. So it's incredible. Yeah.
There must be such a contrast, because when they go home, they can't communicate back with them with Facebook, can they?
No, yeah, we have got some of the groups
Some of
that
them
are
do, yeah.
on Facebook.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
with mobile phones
Yeah.
and things
Yeah,
like that.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's creeping into the community.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good luck with the venture, and we hope to be one of your first. We hope to bring out a group in September and be one of your first guests.
We
And
hope to have a roof on the kitchen when you come out in September.
doesn't matter. The braai last night was fantastic, even though it was raining and the wind was blowing. yeah, it's a very special experience, and thank you for your hospitality.
Pleasure. Look forward to
Thank
seeing
you.
you again.
Yeah, cheers.
Great.
Cheers. Cut.